Hey cake lovers, in this week's video I visit Crome London. Now Crome London is a cafe that sells French toast, sweet and savoury, and also drinks. It's about a 5-minute walk from Bond Street station. So I'm back from Crome London. Let's start with the service. So we got there probably about 5 minutes after it opened, my thinking was we get there early, we will, hopefully get a seat. We got there, it was already packed inside, but there were seats outside. So we didn't mind sitting outside because it wasn't that cold and they had overhead heaters. So we waited about 5 minutes to get seated. Bearing in mind, at the time we were waiting to be seated, there were already a couple of guys at a table who ordered. Just remember that. We got seated and then we waited about 10 or 15 minutes for somebody to actually take our order. In the meantime, we saw no staff coming outside at all. None. They were all inside, even though there was all these people waiting to be seated. There was a queue starting. Nobody was coming outside. There was a guy who I think was possibly the manager who came out a couple of times to clear tables, and we tried to get his attention. It's like he didn't want to know. So finally somebody came out. In the meantime, another two guys had sat down at a table. They just sat down. They didn't wait to be seated. And then she was going to take their order. And it's like, no, we've been waiting here longer than they have. And she was like, oh, well, I would have taken yours straight away. I said, that's not the point. So she took our order. Then she took their order. Fine. So we proceeded to wait probably for another 10 minutes. And then my order came out. Now, the guys at the beginning who ordered, it would have been about 20 minutes before, they still hadn't received their order. So they saw my order coming out and they were not happy. They looked at me and I looked at them and I was just like, so they brought out my order. They didn't bring out my friend's order because what she ordered the savoury toast. They didn't have any cheese sauce, which would have meant that nearly you couldn't have any of the savoury toast because with all the savoury toast, it was all cheese sauce on there. So my friend ordered a sweet one, went back inside. The person went back inside. Then she came out again and went over to the table and they said, where's our order? We've ordered like 30 minutes ago. It seemed the original person who took their order obviously didn't put it through for whatever reason. So then they finally put it through. Then my friend's order came and then not long after, the guy's orders came and the order was wrong. One of the orders was wrong and they didn't get everything they wanted and they hadn't been given their drinks. So at this time, one of the guys he was vexed. He was just like, we've been waiting 40 minutes and blah, blah, blah. And there was a queue there. The queue was there and would have heard all of this. And the thing is, I don't blame him. The service was atrocious. And I think eventually they got their drinks free. But yeah, one thing I would say with Crome London is that if you look on their Instagram stories, they're always looking to recruit people, almost every other story. And I know in the hospitality industry at the moment, because of Brexit, I'm not going to get political, but it's because of Brexit, there's a massive shortage of hospitality staff. And you could see this this was a perfect example of it. So the service, I thought EL and NCAS service was bad. It was like amazing comparison. The service was terrible. So what did we eat? So I ordered a sweet French toast. So it was salted caramel, sauce, cinnamon sugar, milky bar. So I don't remember seeing any milky bar on mine. Kinder bars, Ferrero Rocher and Oreos. My friend originally wanted the salted beef, but like I said, there was no cheese sauce. So she went for the very best. So that had cinnamon sugar, strawberry sauce, vanilla ice cream, fresh berries, and mint. What I would say about my one, the toast was really nice. It was nice and fluffy. It wasn't overdone. It was very sweet. Now, caramel sauce, if the caramel sauce is that sweet, you don't want loads of it because it just swamps it and it's just too much. I wouldn't mind just less caramel sauce in it. It was just quite sweet. I didn't finish. I finished all the toast, but all the kind of Ferrero Rocher and that I couldn't finish that. My friend, she liked the Berry Bear. She wasn't overblown by it, but she liked it. She felt I felt hers was actually probably better than mine because I tasted a bit of hers. She tasted a bit of mine, and she said that mine was actually quite sweet. It was okay. It was nice. It was nice. It was nice. Now the drinks, I had the iced tiramisu. So that was double espresso, condensed milk, tiramisu syrup, milk foam, cocoa and coffee beans. And my friend had the matcha in blue. So that was blue and green matcha, lavender syrup, milk and milk foam. I think the drinks were better than the actual toast. I really enjoyed my drink. My friend enjoyed her drink as well. Compared to EL and N, the drinks were a lot better. And, her one is one of the Instagrammable ones because there's this whole thing with colored lattes at the moment that people, they want to order and everything. So the drinks were really nice. Yeah, the drinks were nice. So the total bill was $34.65. And that doesn't include service charge. And the service charge is automatically added because, you know why? Nobody would leave a tip, not for that service. So it's already added. And I shouldn't have to pay for service that I didn't get. I shouldn't have to pay for it. And you're already charging us £35 for those 4 items. But again, I have to look at where it is. It's near Bond Street Station. It's central London. So everything is more expensive. I get it. But nah. So would I recommend it? Put it this way, I'm not going back. I think everyone should visit somewhere they want to go once because you can read reviews, but I still feel you should go and experience it for yourself. For me, like with EL and NCAF, these are like destination places. They were made specifically to look good on Instagram. So everything has gone into the aesthetics of it. But in terms of the service and sometimes even the product, they're not much to shout about. But as long as it looks good on Instagram and people take pictures and share it, that's good enough for them. My friend gave it 6.5 out of 10. I'd give it 5. The service was just so bad and I won't go back, but that's fine because like I said, when we left there, the queue was just starting to stretch. There's always going to be people who are going to want to go because the Instagram looks amazing. Tourists come to London every day. Oh, where should we go? Oh, that looks good. They're always going to get people coming. And I won't be surprised if at some point they'll open another one because the Crome, this one, it's quite small. It's small. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. It's quite small. So I can see them definitely open another one because there's always going to be people who want to go. But for me, I ain't going back there. So that's my review of Crome London. Have you been? If you have, let me know what your experience was like. Until next time, Kate lovers.